I know what you're thinking, and no, you're not dreaming. Dad's back in the first video of 2021. New light, new camera. Oh yeah, we had another baby. See? The new year brought us a whole bunch of new surprises. And with that, we've got a brand new pair of earbuds to take a look at. Let's get into it, and let's make it simple. Greetings and salutations, my friends. My name is Travis, aka Dad, and welcome to Dad Does Tech. I'm just an ordinary dad who loves tech and camera stuff. And today we are taking a look at a brand new set of earbuds, the Linpa World T03. The Linpa World T03 retail for a price of $35.99, but since having these, I've seen them go on sale a number of times for as low as $28.99, so be sure to keep a lookout for sales. One thing I did want to mention before we go any further is if you want to look at this product, go ahead and jump down to my link in the description down below, and that'll take you directly over to this particular one. If you're searching for it on Amazon by yourself, that's fine, but make sure you type in Linpa World T03 because apparently there's one that's called the T3 and it's completely different. And we're looking at the T03. So I don't want there to be any confusion because I haven't tried the other ones yet, so I don't know if they're any good. But today we're looking at the T03. It's confusing. What'd he say? He said it's the T03. It's the T03. Anywho, these earbuds have all of the basic goodies that you'd find on most 2020 and now 2021 earbuds. And they've got the Bluetooth 5.0, USB-C charging on the case. They're IPX7 waterproofed. You can use them in mono and twin mode. So if you want to wear one at a time or both, you can do that. But there are a couple twists that make these a little bit different than most of the other earbuds out there. These earbuds are utilizing a glossy, shiny, silver finish on the outside of the earbuds, which really makes them stand out. And it also has a little bit of curve and three-dimensional aspects to the top of them, which also makes them pop a little bit more. If you weren't standing right next to somebody and you saw somebody from a distance, you'd probably think they were earrings instead of earbuds. In fact, even on the Amazon listing, these earbuds are listed as fashion earbuds designed for people who want a little bit more style and flair on their earbuds. It's definitely very clear to me that Linpa World was willing to take some risks in their design to try and carve out a little bit of a niche in this fashion earbud design world that they're trying to be part of. Most of the cases on the market have a matte or glossy black finish, and in this case, it's leather. Now, they're not the first company to make a case that has leather on it, but they are a lot more rare when compared to the other cases that have the glossy and matte black plastic finishes. And I gotta say, I really like the leather case design choice. It's very unique, it's very niche, and if you're trying to be niche and have this, fashion style design earbud, having a leather case or something with different fabrics makes total sense if you're trying to separate yourself and put yourself into a different category. That being said, there's probably a reason that more companies aren't manufacturing cases like this. It's probably a whole lot more expensive to manufacture a case that's wrapped in leather as opposed to a two-piece clamshell case out of plastic. Also, it's probably less durable than plastic. It's probably prone to being scratched up or torn, and then it probably will never look as good as it does right now. I would imagine that if you were somebody who was placing this in your pocket every single day or in a pocket that had your keys, that the keys in your pocket are going to wear down and chew up that leather pretty quickly. Another thing about this case that I like compared to a lot of other earbud cases that I try is that most cases can only open to about 90 degrees and then they kind of try and force themselves to go closed again, and it always feels like if you pull them any further, they're just either going to snap back closed or just snap off entirely. However, this case has a lot more flex in the hinge, which is a lot more forgiving if you accidentally open it a little bit too far, or it's not going to just fling itself back closed again, and it makes it easier to get access to your earbuds. Like I mentioned earlier, the case charges via USB Type-C, and the notification lights for charging are located under the lid in the center. It uses a 4 notification light system, which I like. Now, this notification light system is very similar to that of the Soundpeats TrueFree 2, which I just reviewed recently. If you want to check out that video, it's up in the corner here. But it works really well, and I like that it gives you more information on how many charges roughly you have left on your case before you need to fully charge it again. I like that a lot, but this one has one flaw, and it's a glaring flaw. I mean, glaring literally. These lights are so bright, there's usually some type of diffusion or covering over the LEDs to make them not so bright. This don't have it. It ain't here. It's like one of those parenting moments, you know, when your parents would tell you when you were a kid, don't stare directly into the sun. And then they would walk away and you'd turn and you'd stare directly into the sun. That's essentially what's happening here. Do not stare directly into the lights. It will hurt your eyes. Speaking of battery life, these earbuds actually have quite a bit of it. These earbuds actually get 8 hours of battery life on a single charge, which is pretty darn good in my opinion, at least for $35. And with the case, you can actually boost that all the way up to about 30 hours, which means the case will give you about 3 to 3.5 charges on your earbuds before you'll have to recharge the case. These earbuds utilize touch controls, and honestly, the touch controls are pretty darn good. So these earbuds can do all of the things you'd want them to do, your play pause, your skip tracks, your volume control, and call your assistant. But there's one thing that drives me crazy, and that's the volume control, because it's backwards from what I would expect. The left earbud raises the volume and the right earbud lowers it. And on just about any other set that utilizes a similar touch control system, it's vice versa. But it's not a reason not to try them or anything. It's just if you've got other earbuds to compare it to, it may take some getting used to. Oh my goodness, there is one thing I do need to tell you. So every earbud has its own voice. The voice that tells you pairing, connected. The voice on the Linpa World T03 is hands down the most ridiculous sounding voice I have ever heard. It's like Siri in its beta version. It's 8-bit Siri. It's so robotic and terrible. But I just die and giggle to myself every single time I hear it. Pairing. Connected. I don't know what I'm doing with my hand. I don't know why I assume that the voice is doing this when it's telling me things. The Bluetooth 5.0 connection has been overall fairly stable. However, I thought it was worth mentioning that a few times the right earbud would occasionally just drop out, and about 3 seconds later it would come back in and reconnect. But there was never really any explanation. It wasn't far away from my device or anything. It just occasionally dropped out for a couple seconds and then it would come back in. So I thought that was worth mentioning. As far as latency goes on these earbuds, I didn't really notice any extreme latency except for when you're playing mobile games. If you're playing mobile games, you should just probably forget these. But if you're just watching videos, it wasn't noticeably bad or anything, but there was a couple microseconds of latency. So if you're looking for it, it's there, but it's not too distracting in my opinion. Now let's take a listen to some audio samples I've recorded on these earbuds so you can get an idea of how these earbuds would sound if you were trying to use them for phone calls or things like Zoom meetings. This is a microphone test of the Linpa World T03 True Wireless Earbuds. This is roughly what we would expect to hear if you were taking a phone call or a Zoom call on your phone in a quiet space. What do you think of the microphone quality? Let me know down in the comments down below. All right, now you are hearing me on the T03 in what would be a loud environment test. I have some coffee shop sounds playing in the background and they're pretty darn loud. So I'll be interested to see how these perform, if you can still hear me pretty well. These do have CVC 8.0 noise canceling for phone calls, so we will see how that performs in this test. So I'll be interested to hear what your thoughts are on these audio samples that we just listened to down in the comments down below. But in my opinion, I honestly think they perform really well. They do have CVC 8.0, so they have that noise canceling for phone calls. I found it to be working pretty good. I mean, it's not like a ton better than some of the others that have it, but it worked fine. And honestly, I think the big test is when you can get on a phone call and somebody can't tell that you're on earbuds, and they think it sounds normal enough that you're probably just holding the phone in your hand. and these passed that test for me. So we've come to this point where we can finally ask the big question, how do they sound? And if you watched this video all the way up to this point, kudos to you. Thank you so much. Most of you probably just skipped to this spot, and I don't blame you. This is probably the most important question about any set of earbuds. And the answer to how do they sound is they're pretty darn good. Now, I'm not an audiophile, but I know what I like, and I like these earbuds. They sound pretty darn good. All of the frequencies are there, and I was super surprised at how clear they are. All of the frequencies just sounded great. It was really well balanced, and it may be one of the more balanced sounds that I've heard in this price range, which was extremely impressive given there are only 6mm dynamic drivers in these earbuds. Now, all of the frequencies were there, and the earbuds did sound really good, and the bass was nice and punchy when they had a good seal, but that was the issue most of the time. I ended up having a really difficult time getting a good seal with these earbuds. No matter what set of tips, small, medium, or large, that I tried, on these earbuds, they all kind of worked themselves out over time. And if you're on a phone call, that is especially true. As you talk, your jaw moves, and it just kind of squeezes the earbuds out, and multiple times I actually had the earbuds just fall right out of my ear. And when the earbud falls out of your ear, it's really easy to accidentally bump the touch sensor and actually hang up your phone call as well. This is probably largely to do with the fact that they don't have any wingtips or anything to help secure them into your ear, so they just kind of work themselves out over time. But if you can get a really good seal and you can get them to stay in, they sound really darn good. So that's it, the T03 from Linpa World, not the T3, the T03. I'll have links down in the description down below if you want to check these earbuds out for yourself. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you liked it, found it helpful or mildly entertaining, go ahead and click that like button, smash it if you want, and click subscribe for more videos just like this, and tap on that little bell icon to get notified when I make new videos. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.